On World News Tonight this Friday, NATO peacekeeping troops for Kosovo, it is imminent. And exactly what are the Russians doing? The new virus cripples thousands of computers. Virtual reality helping people face the real dangers of life. Technology on the cutting edge. And when the United States saved Europe, the century on Friday.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Reporting tonight from Macedonia.
Good evening from Macedonia. The war between NATO and Yugoslavia is over, but the crises, plural, continue. It has been a tricky day. The Russians threw NATO a curve today by ordering some of their troops to advance toward Kosovo through Serbia before there was an agreement with NATO on precisely where they would be deployed and what the overall command structure in Kosovo would be. It is not believed here that the Russians went into Kosovo itself, and it's possible that Moscow, which has been the Serbs' only significant ally in this crisis, was simply showing the flag to the Serbs while keeping NATO just a little on edge. Being first into Kosovo has become something of a game. The national headline, if not the national honor, seeming to be at stake. The British and French are virtually ready to go, but many more U.S. Marines arrived outside the Macedonian capital today. And though the U.S. says it will hang back, a token force may be in the first wave to go this weekend, maybe in the middle of the night. It is a very serious military business. Kosovo is not secure. Though NATO says it is not the Yugoslav army which is the problem, rather the kind of freelance violence in the province which they fear may last for some time. Again today, NATO using unmanned aircraft confirms that the Yugoslav forces are pulling out in an organized fashion. Long lines of military vehicles were seen leaving. It is orderly but slow, and sources at NATO headquarters tell us that General Wesley Clark himself will not be surprised if it takes 3 weeks or more for them all to leave, rather than 11 days as agreed. The general anticipates delays because of breakdowns and a possible shortage of fuel. At several points today, it was seen the Serbs do have fuel available that was either not attacked by NATO or missed by NATO. And several fires were seen along the Serbs' exit route. We cannot tell what they are. And while the Yugoslav forces were leaving Kosovo today, ABC's Bob Woodruff, who's been based in Belgrade, was going in.
On the road between Serbia and Kosovo today, the Serb military withdrawal picked up steam. These were mostly air defense units hauling out anti-aircraft guns and missile launchers. As the troops moved out, so did several Yugoslavian fighter jets flying low over Pristina, heading north to Serbia. With the soldiers in retreat, a new refugee crisis is emerging. This time, the refugees are Serbs. A massive convoy of Serb civilians passed through Pristina from western Kosovo. These people said there are no Serbs left in their town of Suvareca. They got out carrying everything they could, apparently in fear of the Kosovo Liberation Army. As soon as the soldiers left, this woman claimed, the Albanians started shooting. Driving along the road into Pristina today, one could see the smoke from about half a dozen fires. In most cases, we had no way of finding out how these got started or what was burning. There are reports that Serbs are burning homes on their way out, one last shot before NATO moves in. These gunners, born and raised here, say they will go, then come back in civilian clothes. We have to come back, the soldier said. This is where we live. But some Serb soldiers appeared happy to leave this place, a land of war with very little left. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Pristina.
At the Macedonian-Kosovo border today, there was a meeting between NATO and Yugoslav officers on where and what advancing NATO troops, not to mention civilians, might find in the way of danger. A lot of looking at maps, which may show where mines have been deliberately laid, but may not show unexploded NATO bombs.
This is a continuation of a meeting.
And during a briefing, there was a very short burst of gunfire from the nearby Kosovo hills.
To Kosovo, shooting in the background, attracting the cameras.
The fact that no one had the slightest idea who was doing the shooting reinforced the notion that Kosovo is one very uncertain place. The Secretary of State made a short visit to Macedonia today. Madeleine Albright is already on her way home. First, a visit to the U.S. forces, namely the 1st Infantry Division outside the capital here. She had lunch and a briefing from the senior NATO officer, Britain's General Sir Michael Jackson, and then gave the troops a brief talk about gratitude.
I think that you are doing the very best that the American military does.
And then she came to Stankovic 1, a visit she clearly enjoyed with the Kosovo refugees. With no offense to Mrs. Albright, anything and everything is a welcome break in the desperate tedium of life in these camps. Today it was close to 100 degrees and not a whisper of air. The secretary was her usual gregarious self, and those refugees who knew she was here in one small corner of the camp responded warmly. If it weren't for the Americans, one man said, and we'd had to rely on Europeans, we'd have been annihilated. There was a brief pep talk here as well.
We have fought this war so that you, the refugees, could go home.
And it came as no surprise to any refugees when Mrs. Albright said that some might still be here when winter comes. So you've only had a chance for a quick impression, but what is it?
Well, the impression I have is they're ready to go home, but they also understand that they have to go home carefully. A number of them talked to me about the landmine problem.
Was she surprised about what the Russians were doing today?
I was surprised when I heard about it, yes. I spoke to Foreign Minister Ivanov, and he assured me that they would not enter Kosovo, that they were waiting to come in. But of course, we have to see.
As for what President Clinton said last night about no help for Serbia while Slobodan Milosevic is in power,
that there is a desire by everybody to help reconstruct the Balkans region, and Serbia will be left out of what will be the biggest reconstruction effort since what happened in Western Europe.
And then she was off. Late today, outside this camp, an even more important diversion for the refugees. They stood and cheered as NATO troops drove by on their way to the border, soon to enter the refugees' homeland in the hope of beginning that reconstruction effort. Later in the broadcast, the century on Friday, now and then. But first of all, Kevin Newman, who's in New York, has some of the day's other news. Kevin?
And Peter, we're going to take a short break, but when we return, another computer virus is creating havoc at some of the country's largest companies. How to spot it in your email before it gets you. And making morality matter. A verdict in the case of the cursing canoeist.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Tylenol.
This is indeed a small miracle, a triumph over everyday arthritis pain, made possible by a remarkable medicine, Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. So effective even the newest arthritis prescription hasn't been proven to work better. And no other type of pain reliever is gentler to your stomach than Tylenol. Miracle drug? Someone sure thinks so. Tylenol Arthritis. Take comfort in our strength.
Okay, the Hollywood Bowl. Okay, I go left on La Brea, right? No, left, right? Exit at Cahuenga, south on the 5, west on the 10, and when you see a massive sign, get off.
Before you go here. Whether locating an address or planning your route, at go.com, you find your own way.
Sorry, I need your vehicle. I need to get to 84th and Adams. Seville SDS, most powerful front-wheel drive car in the world, right?
Yeah, beat the 540i in the slalom.
I knew that. Big fan of the North Star system. StabiliTrak almost reads your mind when it comes to control.
That was close.
Trust me, I'm with the government.
Seville SDS, it's what's next.
Shouldn't you be getting out?
Oh, they'll be all right.
Is it the thick, rich chocolate flavor? Is it the soft, luscious cherry flavor? Or the way it yields to the gentlest bite? Or is it the fact that 500 milligrams of bone-strengthening calcium doesn't come in a big, honking horse pill? Calburst from Nature Made. Have some pleasure with your calcium.
Darling, yes, the house is 100,000 more than we talked about. The location just dreamy. I'll write up the contract, so we're ready. Home sweet home, sugar.
Before you go here, go here. Whether you're researching neighborhoods or agents, at go.com, you move on your own terms.
The FBI has launched a hunt in cyberspace for the source of a new computer virus called Explorzip that has infected tens of thousands of computers at some very big companies. Now, as the virus spreads, the FBI has issued a warning for all computer users. Beware of email that masquerades as a message from a friend. Here's ABC's Deborah Wong in Seattle.
Gina Calabria thought that somebody was playing a practical joke when she discovered her computer files gone.
All of my documents were empty, basically. There were no bytes of information in any of the documents.
It wasn't a joke. It was the latest computer virus to cause chaos at companies around the world, from Boeing to AT&T to Starbucks. Even chipmaker Intel and software giant Microsoft were affected. The law firm Perkins Coie had to shut down its entire computer network for 12 hours while they fought the virus.
We just have so much online that it is devastating to have anything down for any amount of time.
It is the type of virus known as a worm. It arrives disguised as an email from someone you know, with a file attached. If that file, labeled zippedfiles.exe, is opened, the virus literally worms its way into your computer, destroying files. And the worm reproduces by sending itself out in response to incoming email.
What made this virus unique is that not only did it spread quickly, but it was pretty malicious in that it did damage quickly, deleting lots of files.
There is a way to fight this virus. Shutting down email systems prevents it from spreading, and antivirus programmers have posted new software on the internet to detect and disable it. Computer users are being warned that this is not the end of the virus threat. Others, even more destructive, could be on the way, and nobody is immune. Deborah Wong, ABC News, Seattle.
The Federal Aviation Administration said today that it's about to start enforcing rules designed to give pilots the opportunity to get 8 hours of rest in a 24-hour period. Apparently, those rules have not been enforced in recent years. The FAA says its decision has nothing to do with last week's American Airlines crash in Arkansas, in which pilot fatigue may have played a role. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 130 points to close at 10,490. On the technology-heavy NASDAQ, stocks were also down 36 points. In Michigan today, there was a verdict in an unusual case over the issue of enforcing a more courteous society. A man was convicted of uttering profanities on a not-so-peaceful stretch of river almost a year ago. ABC's Jim Williams begins there.
Canoeing on the Rifle River is a favorite pastime in northern Michigan. But last summer, a canoe trip here was very unpleasant for Mike and Tammy Smith and their 2 young children. In court, the Smiths described a tirade they heard just a few yards down the river.
Tired of this place. I want out of this river. Get that canoe back here. God. And that's all I heard.
I just took my hands and I put them over her ears. So I did not want her hearing that at all.
The Smiths testified that Timothy Boomer, after falling out of his canoe, screamed profanity for minutes.
I don't think I did anything wrong. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
Nothing that broke the laws.
But a sheriff's deputy also heard Boomer and gave him a ticket for breaking a 102-year-old Michigan law that makes it illegal to curse in front of women and children.
Long before Boomer was charged, people here had been complaining that behavior on the river had become increasingly rowdy. So last summer, the sheriff stepped up patrols and started cracking down.
But Boomer's attorney argued that with the charge against his client, the effort to stop bad behavior has gone too far.
Timothy Boomer should not be made a scapegoat.
The defense said parents, not government, should protect children from obscene language.
We found guilty Timothy Joseph Boomer.
But the jury disagreed and tonight convicted Boomer. So for a few profane minutes, Timothy Boomer now faces up to 90 days in jail and a $100 fine. Jim Williams, ABC News, Standish, Michigan.
The actor who played Dr. McCoy in the original Star Trek series has died. DeForest Kelley, who's on the right here, had appeared in a number of movies and television series when he was cast in 1966 as Bones, the often cantankerous doctor aboard the Starship Enterprise. DeForest Kelley was 79. And when we come back, technology and therapy on the cutting edge.
If you're one of the 36 million people who wear dentures, this is big. Polident Overnight. Now with PolyShield, cleans tough stains overnight, then forms an invisible barrier to keep you feeling fresh all day.
Every day you give from your heart. So every day, keep your heart healthy by lowering cholesterol. Oatmeal Crisp has soluble fiber that may help lower your cholesterol, plus delicious clusters of oats, sweet raisins, and brown sugar. Your heart does so much for you. Make Oatmeal Crisp a part of your heart-healthy diet and return the favor. Oatmeal Crisp. It's your heart's desire.
The 300 Secret. At Chrysler, the latest 300 is unveiled.
The 300 philosophy has always been one of styling leadership. Presenting the newest 300.
Chrysler 300M, the 253 horsepower descendant of the legendary Letter series.
Sliding into the spacious cabin makes you feel connected to a true automotive thoroughbred.
And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year.
Yeah, I've been having this problem with my girlfriend. It's
diarrhea. Get it, and you want it gone.
Really good listener.
Imodium Advanced combines 2 medicines that relieve diarrhea plus cramps and bloating faster.
Was I right to invite my mom to my honeymoon?
Absolutely.
Imodium Advanced.
So, Murray, did you hear about Nick across the way? Yeah, got sprayed. Didn't he just get sprayed? Yeah, but didn't get the roots. Whatever got him this time was different. I didn't think anything could take old Nick. Hey, next time, it could be us.
Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
Consider for a moment a three-dimensional world which doesn't exist. A place that has amused, amazed, and now maybe where real human beings confront their demons. Here's ABC's Judy Muller on the cutting edge of virtual reality.
Curtis, a recovering drug addict, is about to enter a crack house.
You let me know what you need and I will hook you up.
What you are seeing on your two-dimensional TV screen, Curtis is seeing as virtual reality in his three-dimensional goggles.
Yo, come get something. It took me back almost to when I was using, you know. It was like if I was there.
Instead, he's with a therapist who monitors his reactions to specific scenes which might trigger cravings.
You can see that this is your heart rate, and there are points toward the end there where it got higher and higher.
This program is revolutionary because it integrates virtual reality technology with a computerized biofeedback system, measuring temperature and pulse. That information helps cut through an addict's denial.
Deep down inside, they really believe, like, it doesn't do anything for me.
But then you can show them otherwise.
Yes, and that's how we challenge it.
Repeated viewings are aimed at desensitizing the patient so he can learn to resist those cravings.
Once you see what you've been through, you say, well, I can't go through that no more.
Virtual reality therapy is already being used to treat phobias, such as fear of flying. Soon it will be used to treat eating disorders as well. And patients are not the only ones who can benefit from this technology. One program helps doctors empathize with cancer patients who experience profound fatigue after chemotherapy.
Come walk in my steps.
The doctors wear a 3D helmet while pushing pedals that, with a great deal of effort, enable them to walk through a virtual home. They learn how difficult it is to do simple things, like answering the door.
You're worried about getting there before somebody leaves.
The program left this oncologist feeling
frustrated, exhausted, and very impressed.
Impressed with the power of virtual reality.
Just one hit. Hey, yo, look, just one hit.
A technology born in the art of entertainment, now adopted by the art of healing. Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
There was also a reminder today of the vulnerability of modern technology. Today, one of the most popular websites, eBay, shut down for the second time this week. The online auction site said it had server problems. When it's up and running, eBay says it handles 500 bids for merchandise every minute. Its stock lost 9% of its value today. And just enough time for a quick, quirky story from baseball. New York Mets manager Bobby Valentine was suspended for 2 games today by the National League, and here is why. Valentine was thrown out of a game Wednesday after arguing with an umpire. Now, under the rules, he is supposed to stay away from the team after that, but later, Cameras picked up a man in the team dugout with a mustache and glasses. Valentine in disguise. He is appealing his suspension. And that is all from here. Let's return to Peter Jennings now in Macedonia. When we come back, the Century on Friday. Saving Europe. Now and then.
My dentures always fit fine. I never thought of them as a problem until I saw the video of my son's wedding. It was then that I decided to try Fixodent.
Because Fixodent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
It was like a whole new feeling, so snug and secure. For once, I actually forgot that I even wore dentures. So now, I like what I see.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fixodent and forget it.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil liquid gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil liquid gels, stronger than pain.
Around here, it's not every day we all get together.
We're making them dinner. Come on, you guys.
But when we do, it's great that the folks at Kraft make Italian.
I love their stuff.
Because it's the one thing we agree on. That way, we can talk about what's on our minds instead of what's on our plates.
Whose idea was this?
Well, Kale has a boyfriend.
I guess they just know what we like.
A what? He's a senior. He's a senior.
Around here, the dressing is Kraft. For something different, try one of Kraft's new vinaigrettes.
Announcing a new way to see, near and far. The new AccuView bifocal contact lens with pupil-intelligent design. Call 1-800-531-2121 for a free trial pair or visit your eye care professional.
1 potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4, 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potatoes, ball.
Chevy Venture now has available seating for 8. Perfect for when you're expecting the unexpected.
5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potatoes, ball.
Choose 0% financing or $1,000 cash back on a new 99 Chevy Venture. See your dealer today. Chevy Venture. Let's go.
Where will you be when your grandson gets his first taste of the ocean? When man walks on Mars? When your children want to discover their heritage? Life is filled with moments you don't want to miss. That's why if you have high cholesterol and heart disease, you should know about Zocor. Zocor is proven to help save lives by reducing the risk of a heart attack. So where will you be tomorrow? That could depend on what you do today. When diet and exercise aren't enough, talk to your doctor about adding Zocor. Zocor is a prescription medication and is not right for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems, because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor, and about any medicines you are taking. For more information, talk to your doctor or call. Zocor. It's your future. Be there.
On 2020 Tonight, would you leave your child alone in a locked car? Many parents do, with dire results. A tragedy of modern life you can avoid.
That's something I would never, ever want a parent to go through.
Don't miss 2020 Tonight.
Finally this evening from the Balkans, what might the connection be to the Century on Friday? Well, a very direct one, actually. It is impossible to underestimate what it's going to take to put Kosovo back together again, and everywhere you look in the region, there is a terrible need for assistance. When the Secretary of State told us today that if Yugoslavia didn't get rid of Mr. Milosevic, it would be left out of the biggest reconstruction effort since what happened in Western Europe, she was referring to what the United States did to save Europe after World War II. Tonight, the Marshall Plan. It saved Europe.
I think that it will stand down time as one of the major accomplishments of the last 50 years or so.
When history's most savage conflict, World War II, came to an end in 1945, it left a continent in ruins.
There was England, and it was a victor, but it was exhausted, France was a victor, but it was humiliated. Soviet Union was a victor, but it had lost 20 million people.
Hitler's once mighty Third Reich was in tatters.
As I made my way through Germany, I realized the total destruction that had taken place in that country. Displaced persons walking all over, from the east to the west, from the west to the east. Large cities bombed out, ruins.
People without jobs, people without homes, children without parents. It was a nightmare.
Starvation was everywhere.
There was absolutely nothing to eat, so they rummaged in garbage cans. If I think of my father rummaging in garbage cans, it's terrible.
The social conditions were so bad that the political situation was volatile.
Wherever there was misery and poverty, where could people turn but to communism? I mean, there really was a sense that Italy might topple the next election, even France. There was a definite momentum, it seemed to me, in favor of the Red Menace.
Secretary of State George C. Marshall proposed a solution: massive American aid.
The United States is the only country in the world today which has the economic power and productivity to furnish the needed assistance.
Marshall was a commanding figure in American government, a soft-spoken former general who had run the Department of War for President Roosevelt. But Congress had to be convinced. Many Americans remained wary of foreign affairs.
The whole world hangs in the balance.
Congress passed the Marshall Plan, and by June of 1948, the largest aid program in history began delivering shiploads of supplies to the Europeans. Malnutrition was eased. Factories were restarted. New deliveries of fuel ensured that people would not go without heat. At one point, 150 ships arrived in European ports every day.
Our economy would be drastically influenced in a detrimental way if Europe had gone under. And there's no question that it saved Western Europe, saved a way of life there.
With $13 billion of assistance, in 4 years, Europe began to rise again. Industrial production increased 40%. And to a generation of Europeans, the name Marshall became synonymous with American generosity. And that is our report on World News Tonight. We hope you have a good weekend. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night from the center of Skopje in Macedonia.
Sunday on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts.
George W. Bush in Iowa, plus the first interview with Gore campaign chairman Tony Coelho, ABC Sunday.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCnews.com, now a part of the Go Network.
They're hitting the greens in the land of the blues. The FedEx St. Jude Classic, live from Memphis, Saturday at 4 on ABC. Let's swing.
Once you watch,
I have a motion.
You're hooked.
The motion is denied.
Hey! Can you at least read it? This stinks!
The Practice, ABC Sunday, 10, 9 Central.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
You're looking at what's left of an ATM that bandits ripped out of a Columbia convenience mart. Good evening, everyone. That unusual heist happened early this morning in a market on a very busy corner.
Now, the bandits didn't just grab the loot, they stole the safe and an ATM to boot. Andy Cordan has the story you'll see only here on News 2.
2:45 Friday morning. Two bandits hit this BP station on Highway 50.
Before they entered, they cut the phone lines, disabled the alarm system.
The bandits then pried off this back door and made entry. That's when the store surveillance caught glimpses of the two skulking in the